Ted Leonsis may be best known for owning the Washington Wizards and Capitals, but his ownership in Team Liquid and his investments in eSports may be what he will best be remembered for in the next century.
I was reading how you're coming back from, I think it's England not too long ago, and you know, your wife, I think, is reading a book, you're doing something else, your son's fiancée has got all this stuff she's doing, and your son is playing video games and shooting down aliens.
Well, my son is very educated, went to University of Pennsylvania, went to Georgetown Business School. He's been working in the company for a long while, but he grew up playing video games, and he's into eSports, and yeah, he feels very, very comfortable in saving the world from alien attack. And it's just very, very instructive that the muscle memory of young people, you know, starting with Xbox and the like when they were in high school and college, that they feel comfortable. And eSports is the transcendent, fast growth sport. It's no longer underground. The numbers around it, as we all know, are astounding, and we're starting to see these professional leagues develop. We bought a team, Peter Guber and I, and now Jeff Vinnick. We own the majority of Team Liquid. Team Liquid is the New York Yankees, if you will, of eSports, and we play on all of the platforms. League of Legends, owned by Riot Games, owned by Tencent. They're going to start a really, really competitive eSports league around League of Legends. There'll be teams. We have to go out and get players. We have coaches. We have to use technology to train them. And the league, the growth of that business is just enormous. Sponsors want to be there. The prize money that's available to the players is really, really strong. And so overnight, the social adoption of e-gaming and how people who play the game, and that's what's so amazing. So my son's never going to be a professional e-game player, but because the software is always updated, you'll hear a term called the meta. That's the beauty of it. Imagine if John Wall showed up for practice and the basket, instead of being 10 feet, was 10 feet 3 inches, and they changed where the foul line was. Well, that's what happens in eSports. The platform provider, through software, will change how the weapons work, how the first-person shooter speed is going, who the villains are. And so it's iterative, and you have to be a professional player. You have to practice all the time. And it's this phenomenon of kids who are practicing. They're professionals, and they literally will be playing a new part of the game, and millions of young people will be watching to see what they're doing, because they're going to play the game at home with their friends. And there'll be multi-user game environments, and they're trained, if you will, by the professional players. And so my bet is within 5 years they'll be playing video games more than they're watching television. That, you know, TV viewing is down. And, you know, that phenomenon we saw, video game business very, very quickly got bigger than Hollywood, right? More people are playing video games than going to movies.
I've actually seen some reports where some eSports teams were valued more highly than some NASCAR teams or the charters.
It's all based on growth. People will value growth and promise, and eSports is a real global game. You know, the best players in the world are from Korea and the Philippines and China, and now the U.S. We're starting to do it. It's funny. My son was a very, very good athlete, and he was a good student, but he'd play a lot of video games. And sometimes I'd go downstairs and say, "What are you doing? You know, get away from your computer, go out and hit some golf balls, or go read a book." In Korea, if someone's out playing tennis, their mothers and fathers go, "What are you doing playing tennis outside? You go downstairs and go save the world, and you can be an eSports professional." And I do think that culture, if you will, has started to move here very, very quickly. And my prediction is that eSports will be as big as the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, seriously, within 5